Well. So, when it comes to Sarper and Shekinah, we know that Shekinah has had, a daughter this whole time, but her daughter has never had the opportunity of actually meeting Sarper. And, well, that's just due to the long distance, to be honest with you, right? So let's just go through what Shekinah's had to say, and then we'll break down, obviously, the thoughts and opinions that I have, as well as you guys also putting in your thoughts and your opinions in the comment section as well. But, as you can see, in this post here by Shekinah, she's come out to say, in the past, I made the mistake of introducing my child to romantic interest too quickly. Going forward, I wanted to observe how someone interacts with my child before getting serious. Since Sarper and my relationship developed abroad, and my child had already met several people that didn't work out, I had to wait until he arrived in the US to introduce them. Which, listen, respectfully, I get it. It makes a lot of sense. But before we dive into exactly what she says here, let's move on to the next post, okay? And let's get both posts out of the way, okay? Before I start to give my thoughts and my opinions on the matter itself in particular. But in this one here, as you can see, she says, to those who judge my parenting, I want you to know that you're only seeing a small part of my story. There are struggles, challenges, and tough decisions that I have faced, and you can't truly understand unless you walked in my shoes. My daughter has always been my priority, and her opinion of my partner matters to me. Hence, this conversation on Sarper and her meeting, Sarper knew it, so wasn't blindsided. He was just aggravated by the way things had to be. Now, of course, she's coming out to clarify this information due to a little clip that was played as a preview for the next episode, okay, which we will obviously, talk about once the episode comes out, okay? Now, with that being said, let's talk about what she says here. So, in this one itself in particular, she does say that there are struggles, challenges, and tough decisions that I have faced, and you can't truly understand unless you've walked in my shoes. You know what though? I'm actually really sick and tired of that type of statement, because that is such a main character type freaking BS. And I'm gonna say this, why? Because you see, first and foremost, there are plenty of people in this world that are single parents who have met someone abroad. So therefore they would know exactly what she's talking about and they can relate to it. So you're not the only person to live this. And also, most importantly, has she forgotten what show she's on? 90 Day Fiancé, where literally we have witnessed so many single parents meet someone abroad and then have to introduce their kids in some form of way. Now, of course, not everybody has done it in the same way, but everybody gets to that point of it. So trust me when I tell you, you're not the only person that has walked those shoes. And to be honest with you, even if we haven't, given the fact that we have seen this same thing happen time and time again, we're gonna have a good, decent idea of how maybe it is best to do things based on the observation that we've made ourselves over the years over couples who have had the similar situation. I just wanted to put that out there because, boy, girl, don't be sitting there talking about that as if you're the only person, all right? Unless you walked in my own shoes. It's like watching an episode of in the UK, you'd have Britain's Got Talent, America is like America Talent, or Canada Talent, or whatever country you're from, right? And you know how before somebody goes up there for the very first time to show us whatever talent they've got, they give us that little sob story. So, yeah, I came from this place and then I had to do this thing. You know how they want to get so emotional? Listen, it ain't that type of situation, even though that's what they're doing on 90 Day, to be fair, more than ever. But nonetheless, though, let me go back into the actual point here. I like the fact that her daughter is a priority, okay? And also on top of that, just to go back to the first post stuff in particular, I do like what she says here about her past, okay? She says, I made the mistake of introducing my child to a romantic interest too quickly, okay? Going forward, I wanted to observe how someone interacts with my child before getting serious, okay? And to be fair with you, I like that. It's good because it means that she's taking accountability for her mistakes and she has learned from mistakes and she does not want to repeat the same thing again, which respectfully makes a lot of sense. So I love that, okay? There's nothing wrong with that. But then it got me thinking. Now, initially, I was like, how is this then fair on Sarper? And I say that because you see, this is a man that has, invested 2-3 years in a relationship with Shekinah, respectfully. And in those, years, she's obviously making all the trips to Turkey. Now, in none of those trips, her daughter was ever invited, which is fine, because obviously she's trying to, obviously create and respect her new boundary, which is absolutely fine. But we know how Sarper's family felt when they found out that their son was going to be moving to America to be with Shekinah, and they knew that they wasn't going to see their son for God knows how long until, okay? And with that being said, the fact that obviously he has to leave people without knowing whether or not Shekinah's daughter's gonna like him, that's a massive gamble, okay? And therefore you would think maybe it'd be a good idea if, maybe she brought her daughter to Turkey to meet him there and get a vibe. But at the same time, that would go against her new boundaries, which again, I respect. But sometimes your boundaries don't always fit every situation. But then I thought about it on the flip side. The flip side is that Sarper has already known for a long time that Shekinah's family do not like him. He met the sister didn't like him. The family hasn't exactly met him yet, it's just that they don't like him based on what the sister said and maybe what they've seen on the show as well, which is whatever, okay? So he already knows that he already knows that the family are not going to welcome him in, but he's still to the risk of leaving his loving family for a family that's maybe never going to like him. So with that being said, he would already know that there's a chance the daughter's not going to like him because of the family, all right? And if that's what it comes down to, that's what it comes down to. But the question is this: what happens if the daughter does not like Sarper as well? And this is where we go back to what she said before as well, because these are the things that people have to really think about, especially if you are the parent in the situation, okay? Now, she does say that my daughter has always been my priority and her opinion of my partner matters to me. So what happens now? But this is where Sarper has gambled, okay, because this is a possibility. What happens if the daughter does not like Sarper? Your daughter's a priority and her opinion matters. Is she then going to say, well, you know what? I know we've been together for a set amount of time and we've had one hell of a journey and da-da-da-da-da-da. Is she then going to part ways with Sarper due to the fact that her daughter does not like him? That's what I want to know, okay? Because there's been one hell of a gamble that has gone down here, you know what I mean? Now, here's the thing. Would she be wrong for leaving Sarper if her daughter ended up not being keen on him? I mean, listen, that is a very subjective question. That is entirely up to you folks, how you want to see that one. Now, at the same time, would she then be wrong to not respect or not want to take us or to ignore her daughter's wishes and to still stay in a relationship with Sarper? Again, very subjective. So I'll leave that one down too. Now, the reason I say these things are subjective is because, you see, would there be anything wrong with her saying that, listen, I would like you to at least give him a chance, And that's where thinking developed there. The daughter has a choice to either give him a chance or to not give him a chance. It really depends on how the daughter's feeling, right? And anybody that has been in a situation who has got a child or got kids and their kids are not fond of their partner to begin with or whatnot, obviously how the process works. So please do get your comments in on how you would obviously handle the situation, because the matter of the fact is this is not a normal situation. This is a very interesting situation because we have witnessed two people be together now for 2-3 years or something like that, and Sarper has now made the gamble of leaving his family, his friends, his country to be with a woman that has a family that does not like him. So therefore he already understands the potential. Well, I would like to think that he understands the gamble that's going to come with the situation. Do you see what I'm saying? So let me know your thoughts. What would you do? Okay, should Shekinah maybe blend her, what, let me say less. Let me know sorry, anyway, let me say less. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section and we can most certainly talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.